Hello. I am doing my deposition video for EDU 535. Um, so the questions on the video, the questions for the video have to do with different dispositions that we looked at this week on the survey. So which ones I think I have that will make me a successful teacher? Which dispositions do you think I need to work on? How should an educator behave based on the standards of education that we studied a few weeks ago? So looking at the survey that I filled out, I definitely agreed with all the points there. The ones that I think that at this point I'm good with based on what I've heard from my employers and my past experience, is definitely that educators should believe that all students can learn and should set and support realistic expectations for student success. My job as learning specialist is to definitely try to look out for each student's individual capabilities and needs and make sure that we can get them there. So that definitely, I think, is something that I'm good at right now. Educators should be sensitive to individual learning and social needs of students and embrace the cultural diversity of the community. Definitely, that's part of my job, is to make sure that I'm sensitive to everybody's needs and try to make teachers aware of that and to help with their social needs. Actually, we're bringing in, I worked very hard to bring in a psychologist to help with that for the school, to help with the social needs. And that's definitely, we're looking at the whole student, not just the academic, and be respectful of that. So those were the two that I really. Oh, so there. I'm sorry. Educators should exercise sound judgment and ethical behavior. I always try to do that, to think logically and to be ethical with my job. Educators should recognize that reflection combined with experience leads to growth as a professional. I've been told many times by previous employers and by my current employers, or I should say my previous employers, not necessarily this employer, but I'm sure it would hold true, that I always want to learn, and I definitely realize that reflection and trying to seek out advice is the way to grow in the profession. Educators should demonstrate professional friendliness, warmth, and genuine caring in their relationships with others while providing intellectual, emotional, and spiritual support. I definitely try to be, I like to have a good relationship with all my colleagues, and I really value the friendship and really try to help each other, with our jobs. Teachers understand the impact of community involvement and servant leadership as it applies to the welfare of others in the educational setting. We'll understand that we are looked upon in the community, especially the school that I work at. We are looked up to in a leadership role. We are helping the future students of this community. Educators should be committed to the profession of teaching and learning. I have been told many times that I am too, quote unquote, involved in my job, and I'm put my heart really into it, and I don't think that that's a bad thing. I definitely, my heart goes out to my students, and I definitely try to be as involved and put my heart and soul into my job to make sure that they are as successful as they can be, and to really help them. And it really hurts me when I can't always help them, or it's hard to help them, or we run into stumbling blocks that may prevent me from helping them. In terms of the standards, I really hold that each and every one is valuable, from the learning development to understand people learn differently. They grow I'm sorry, that people grow differently, and they develop at different stages. Learning differences, definitely with differentiated learning, which is very, very big in my job, to make sure that teachers are aware of it and parents are aware as well. Learning environments to be supportive, and collaborative learning. Definitely. Um, that we work with others, we're a team, so I definitely very much hold of that content knowledge to make sure that you know the stuff that you're teaching. Can't say I've always been very good with that, but definitely I hold that that's an ideal that should be met. Application of the content, make it meaningful to the students, make it that they can relate to it. um, Assessment, making sure that there's different ways of assessing. That's definitely part of differentiated learning, and we studied a lot about it. I definitely hold that that's the true thing. Planning for instruction, that goes without saying. Make sure that you're planned and ready to go before you start teaching. Instructional strategies, to have a repertoire of ways to teach. Definitely, my previous master's class, that was something that we worked on, having a repertoire of teaching methods and varying your teaching methods. Professional learning and ethical practice, of course, we try to make sure we have laws, and we try to respect the privacy of students and families. Leadership and collaboration, again, we are looked upon as leaders, as leaders leading our students, and we're looked up upon by the parents, by the students. So it's definitely something that I definitely hold of. And to collaborate with learners, families, colleagues, and other school professionals to ensure learner growth. Absolutely, we are partners. We are not the only people. We are not, we're not the only ones trying to help them. We need to work with each other to help them. That is really based on the dispositions and the standards where I am holding. Definitely the other dispositions that I did not mention in the video, like promote social justice, that's something I would probably want to work on. Promoting and support curiosity, that's definitely something, because that's hard to do if you want to keep behavior, in the classroom. So that's something I would have to work on. Um, Education model integrity by their words and actions. I think that's actually something I miss, and that's something that's important that I believe that I try to work on even now. And that is about it. So thank you very much, and have a great day.